the captain of your heart. So long ago, so far apart. No, you never something, Dave, the captain of your heart. Hi, everybody. Welcome in to the Rant. I am Pugs Moran, live from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios. We do this every day at about noon here. The new studios here on the south side of Chicago recently moved from Dallas, Texas. Temporary. We'll see. We'll see how all this goes. We've been doing this every day since 2021. It's talk radio for normal people, as I like to say. I've been doing talk radio in major markets here on the radio since 1992, and there's just no place anymore for the kind of talk radio that I do because I don't carry water for any stupid political party. I don't think that there's one side that's got all the answers and the other side is just a bunch of criminals who should be thrown in jail. Although lately I've been leaning that way. I've been changing the way I think, but we'll get into that later. This is a show for normal people, non-radicalized people, people who do not see the world through a predetermined or agendized politically partisan lens. That's what we are. We're normal people. I like to put it this way. 15% on the right are gone. They're gone forever. Their closet is filled with red hats and stupid merch and all of that stuff. Those 15% on the far right, they're not coming to Thanksgiving anymore. We don't even want to know them anymore. And that's where they are. Then you got another 15% over there on the left. Same. These are the people that are sitting around their kitchens building Molotov cocktails so that they can burn down the local Tesla dealership. That 15% is gone as well. So that leaves us 70%. 70% of us. Some of us lean right, some of us lean left. We don't define our entire lives by the hats that we wear or by the, it's just not. So that's who this talk radio show is for, and it's who it's been for since 2021, every single day. So welcome aboard. We do have some breaking news we need to start out with right here at the top of the show. Hi, everybody in the chat room. I'll say hello. I got Jeff, I got Al, I got Leslie, I got Jen, I got Barney, I got Taronda, I got Kevin. Kevin says I'm the captain of his heart. Kevin knows about that song and my long history with that song. If you're familiar with the song, Captain of Your Heart, I consider it to be the worst song that has ever become a hit on the radio. It's second place is obviously We Built This City, which can I tell you my 16-year-old son doesn't get? I'm like, what do you mean you don't get it? He's like, that song's not that bad. I go, that song is terrible, dude. And he's like, I don't get it. I don't understand why people hate We Built This City. I'm like, ugh. So then I'm like, hey, you want to hear Captain of Your Heart? So long ago. So here's the story with Captain of Your Heart real quick and why Kevin Barber is mentioning it. When I was a teenager, I had to work at the mall and I worked in a fat woman store. It wasn't a Lane Bryant, but it was a different kind of fat lady store, clothes and stuff. And they kept me because I was a weird, goony teenage boy. They kept me in the back and my job was to put these security tags on all the new clothes that came in. And I was stuck in the back room for an entire summer. And there was music playing in the store, and it was the same like 10 songs, and it seemed like Captain of Your Heart was played every 30 seconds, and it killed me. So that's what Kevin is referencing there, Captain of Your Heart. All right, let's get into some serious stuff because the world is falling apart around our very eyes. Is that how it says? Is that it? The world is falling apart around our very eyes? I'm not even sure. We've got big breaking news here. Not silly breaking news either. No. This I'm trying to measure this because there's been a shooting in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We're going to take a look at where it is. 3400 block of Portland Avenue in Minneapolis is where this has occurred. Now, Minneapolis is back in the barrel, huh? Every couple of weeks, we got to rotate what cities, we put in the barrel. Minneapolis has spent some time in the barrel in the past. Of course, Minneapolis, George Floyd, the riots of, what year was that? I don't even know what year that was. George Floyd riots, was that pre or post-COVID? That was pre-COVID, right? It was all the riots were happening, and then they invented a disease and said, let's lock everybody down for a year. Let's calm down with all of this riots. Isn't that what happened? I don't know. That's how I remember it. Minneapolis has been a focal point the far right. Apparently, and I don't even know this about Minnesota. I thought it was all Swedes and Germans up there. Apparently over the last few years, a significant African population, people migrating from Africa. Somalis are the ones we hear about. I should say Somalis are the ones we're getting all ginned up about, but Minneapolis has had somebody. You got Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, right? He's got this Somali fraud thing, and he decided he's not running. A lot of attention has been paid to Minnesota in the past few weeks, and if we're being honest, the past few years, as I said, going all the way back to the George Floyd situation. George Floyd was Minnesota, right? Not. There's so many of them. There's I barely remembered Travion Martin anymore. Was that the name? Then he had Mike Brown. He was in St. Louis, or Ferguson. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So we're gonna go with George Floyd as being like the first time we started paying attention to Minnesota and the unrest that they have here. Let me give you the story of what's going on. We'll bring it to. Let me see. Where is the most recent story? We'll do this. This is how ABC News is reporting it. You can see in the small box there on the screen. That is a local Minneapolis news coverage of the incident that is unfolding right now. So we're going to check in with that. But first, let me give you the lay of the land as far as what we're being told. ICE agent fatally shoots woman in vehicle during operations in Minneapolis. This is the Department of Homeland Security putting this out. DHS agents allege the woman was attempting to run over our law enforcement officers. Okay, that's what DHS is saying. Actually, you know what? Should I just give you exactly what the DHS is saying here? Let me see if I can find that instead of giving you the story. ICE statement. Okay, here, we'll put this up so we can show you the ICE statement. Now, this is strange to me because it's not, or we'll stop sharing that. And then we'll show you this one. Here we go. This comes to us from Tricia McLaughlin. Now, this is not the ICE branded Twitter account. This is from somebody, Tricia McLaughlin, but it was reposted by ICE. It was reposted by ICE and the Department of Homeland Security. So this woman, Tricia McLaughlin, well, she's standing in front of a flag, so she looks like she's official. She must be somebody of official standing to put this out and have it be retweeted by both DHS and ICE. She says, today, ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations when rioters began blocking ICE officers, and one of these violent rioters weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill them. An act of domestic terrorism. Remember now, this is a statement coming from, or at least supported through reposting, Tricia McLaughlin and ICE. It says here, an ICE officer fearing for his life, the lives of his fellow law enforcement, and safety of the public fired defensive shots. He used his training and saved his own life and that of his fellow officers. The alleged perpetrator was hit and is deceased. The ICE officers who were hurt are expected to make full recoveries. This is the direct consequence of constant attacks and demonization of our officers by sanctuary politicians who fuel and encourage rampant assaults on our law enforcement. These men and women who are simply enforcing the law of the books are facing 1,300% increases in assaults. This is an evolving situation, and we will give the public more information as soon as possible. We are waiting on an update. We're going to have a press conference. It looks like it's starting any minute now. A press conference will be held where we'll get all of the most recent and official details from the people there on the ground in Minneapolis. I think this is going to be something from the mayor of Minneapolis. It will be something we definitely should not miss. So we'll be watching that live. Here, I think this is really interesting. And it says he used his training and saved his own life and that of his fellow officers. It says this was the direct consequence of constant attacks and demonization of our officers. I just need to note that yesterday there wasn't a single Republican or member of this administration that was willing to participate in a moment of silence for the officers of January 6th. No, those January 6th officers yesterday, they didn't need our support. They wouldn't participate. There was a moment held. There was a request for a moment of silence, and they wouldn't participate. So it's selective, I suppose, how we support our law enforcement and men in uniform. But here we are very much being asked to support them and to just accept that this woman was using her car as a weapon. Now, the reason you may be detecting a bit of cynicism in my voice, or sarcasm for that matter, is because I have been watching coverage, local news coverage of this thing for about an hour now. I've been watching, let's see, well, what do we got here on the right of our screen? Is the press conference start? No, you know what? Let's go back to the press conference here. Let's just make sure we've, this is local Minneapolis. Yeah. All right. So let's do this. I've been watching coverage of it all morning long. Local boots on the ground Minneapolis reporters are talking to dozens of eyewitnesses. This situation occurred. Here, are we seeing it? Let me make sure we're seeing it. The situation occurred in front of dozens of people. There is going to be so much video of what this is. And every single witness so far says the complete opposite of what Tricia McLaughlin and ICE just put out. We'll see. Right? Yeah. Well, but those are the people that were protesting, or they were neighbors. They were just people who live there. I mean, we don't know yet. So all I can tell you is that I've been watching local Minneapolis, St. Paul news coverage of this since the story first broke about an hour ago. They've interviewed numerous people on the scene who saw it happen, and they describe it nothing at all like what ICE is putting out there publicly. Here is an eyewitness account, and thank you to April for providing this to me. She sent this over on the Twitter box. And by the way, like, follow, and subscribe. Pugs Moran on all platforms. Please help the algorithm. Even if you don't endorse what it is I'm saying, but you do like the show overall, like it, forward it, comment on it. The algorithm is our friend moving forward. All right, so here's a witness account of the ICE shooting in Minneapolis this morning. A witness to Wednesday's shooting in South Minneapolis, excuse me, told Minneapolis Public Radio News that she saw a federal agent shoot a woman several times. Emily Heller lives near. Okay, so again, this is not another protester giving a bullshit story. This is a neighbor. This is a woman who saw this happen in front of her house. Okay, so weigh that for what it's worth. But I think this eyewitness account holds more water than maybe somebody who was out there going, fuck ICE. You know what I mean? Emily Heller, she lives near 33rd and Portland, and said she woke up to commotion outside of her home. She said she saw a car blocking traffic on Portland Avenue that appeared to be part of a protest against federal law enforcement operations. All right, so the witness, the woman who lives in the neighborhood, she's looking at what's going on out there. And we're seeing this a lot. We're seeing parades of people in communities patrolling their own communities against these jackbooted federal thugs who are descending upon these neighborhoods and fucking everything up. These people in these communities are following these federal officers just to document everything that's happening. In time to time, some of them are assholes. All of these protesters who are anti-ICE, they're not good people, all of them. Some of them are just taking advantage of an opportunity to fuck with a guy with a badge. So we must allow for that. All right, there's a whole kinds of shit. It's very complicated. Lots of stuff going on. The question here is, did this woman deserve to be shot in the face 3 times at point blank range? Let's get into it. As we told you, Emily Heller is our eyewitness here. She says that she woke from a commotion outside of her home. She said that she saw a car blocking traffic on Portland Avenue that appeared to be part of a protest against federal law enforcement operations. Heller said that she heard ICE agents telling the driver, a woman, to get out of here, get out of here. She was trying to turn around. This is what the eyewitness says. The woman who was being yelled at by ICE agents, the witness says this woman was trying to turn around, and the ICE agent was in front of her car. He then pulled out a gun, put it right in dash like, okay, this is a quote from her. So this is how the woman is talking. She was trying to turn around and the ICE agent was in front of her car and he pulled out a gun and put it like right in, like his midriff was right up against the bumper of her car. And like he reached across the hood of the car and shot her in the face like 3 or 4 times, Heller said. Now, did she gun the car? I mean, look, if she was gunning the car to run this officer over who was standing in front with his gun drawn, then, okay. But the bigger question is, why is this situation occurring at all? Why? Heller said it appeared that the woman then accelerated and traveled about 100 feet before striking a utility pole. She could be seen slumped over inside the car. So after she was shot 3 times in the face at point blank range, she then is dead and the car just accelerates because I don't know if her weight fell on the gas or whatever. She drove straight into a pole, shot in the face. There's your eyewitness testimony. All right, let's check in here for a minute. Let's see what's going on with the local scene. Let's give you some audio here. Make sure we can hear it. This is Fox 9. This is Fox 9 out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. I've been watching them all morning. There's also a number of other news stations, local Minneapolis, St. Paul news stations that are streaming this live, but let's stick with Fox 9.
Definitely continue to be a crime scene and an active investigation for quite some time.
We can tell by what we've observed and what Corin Hoggard, our reporter on the scene, was able to observe on the ground. That it is now apparently the jurisdiction of the Minneapolis Police Department. You can see that they have taped off this area. They have
the
temporary barriers.
Put this down. Yeah, I see. There's all kinds of video and stuff going around in April. Just send it all to me if you can. Here's the issue: I can't play all of it. Like some video, if I try to play it, will get shut down. It'll just, this is very difficult. Trying to cover live news. I'm pretty sure that I can use these feeds, these local news feeds, but I've never had a problem with them in the past. Apparently, Secretary Noem is now addressing the deadly ICE shooting in Minneapolis. Hold on. Is she going to be here at this press conference? There you can see on the screen. That's what we're going to be watching. We're awaiting a press conference here from Minneapolis. Mayor Fry, I don't know if Governor Waltz is going to be there. But once again, breaking news, a woman has been shot to death on the street in Minneapolis by ICE agents. We're covering this because we could be covering this story for the next 3 days if the people of Minneapolis is past is any indication of what's going to happen tonight, right? That's what we're all looking for now. We're looking for these riots. So just for the record, I'm against this ICE operation. I am certainly someone who believes that we do have an immigration problem in this country, and one of those problems I do believe is our situation with the southern border, right? I think that needs to be addressed in a real serious way. This performative action, though, of sending macho alpha American troops into cities to just grab people willy-nilly with absolutely no nuance is a real optical problem. And I don't understand why this administration doesn't see that. They don't see it as an optical problem. They see it as an optical bonus. They want this. Apparently, they think that their base is encouraged by seeing brown people. And let's be honest, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about Latino, South American people. We're talking about Somalis in Minnesota. I mean, I just would have hoped that there would have been a little bit more focus on what was promised, which was we're going after people with criminal records. We're going after people that are gang members and the drug dealers. We're going after those people, and we're going to leave the good people who are here trying to attain the American dream. We're going to leave them alone. Well, that didn't happen. And apparently it didn't happen because it was far too hard to find the criminals. And what they did was they went with low-hanging fruit. They went with people who were established in the community for years and years. They went with people that they could just pick off at the laundromat or at the convenience store or sitting out there at the Home Depot. They went for low-hanging fruit. And that is, I think, what pisses off people like me who might have been a supporter of these kinds of things, this kinds of immigration crackdown, getting these criminals out of the country. But it doesn't look like they're rounding up a bunch of criminals. It looks like they are rounding up a bunch of, well, low-hanging fruit. And that is why a lot of people are upset about this. We're going to see how this all bubbles over in Minnesota. Let's listen to more of this. All right, let's get some information. This is, again, Fox News in Minneapolis.
1,000 officers plus here, some under the guidance of trying to, they were going to be taking part in the immigration enforcement. Others were also looking into, we reported, to some of the Somali issues and with possible fraud that's going on. Some 600 agents will be looking into that. And Kristi Noem saying that they would not leave the area until they had resolved these issues.
Homeland Security Secretary Noem just was involved in a different press conference out of Texas, but I do want to read what she said when she was asked about what happened here this morning. She says it was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened was our ICE officers were out in enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle and a woman attacked them. Those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. She goes on to say an officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. My understanding, she says, is that she, the victim, was hit and is deceased. This goes to show the assaults on our ICE officers and law enforcement are under every single day. These vehicle rammings are domestic acts of terrorism. We will continue to protect our ICE officers. You've seen me in the last couple of days deploy more than 2,000 officers to the Minneapolis area. She says in the last 2 days, we have arrested hundreds of dangerous criminals. We're going to continue to do our work. The act like we saw today of using a vehicle to try to kill an officer and his colleagues is something that every politician, every elected official, everyone in this country should be able to rally around and say is wrong. Sanctuary cities, she says, and sanctuary states that protect individuals who do that should no longer be allowed. Domestic act of terrorism like this will not stand. Again, that is from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
All right, there you go. Here's what gets my hairs up, okay? Just a little bit here. Why when I hear that from Kristi Noem right now at this stage of everything, why I think it's bullshit? Because a responsible administration, a responsible person, not Kristi Noem, not any of these defensive trying to justify the fucking nonsense they're pulling. Any responsible person at this point of the investigation would say we can confirm that a woman has died. We are investigating. We do not have all the detail. That's what a responsible response to something like this would be. But they're not. They're getting out in front of it. Domestic terror. She was doing this. She was doing that. We don't know any of that. They're putting this out there before the videos. There's going to be videos. Everybody's got a phone. Everybody films everything. We're going to see exactly what happened here. Okay? And they're getting out in front of it because they're afraid of what's going to be seen. These officers are all supposed to have body cameras. These federal ICE agents are supposed to have body cameras. How much do you want to bet that they're either not working or they're not wearing them? How much? There you go. Thank you. Look at Barney. You know what? Barney's, he leans right, but Barney at least has the right attitude on this. Barney says the right answer here is it's a developing situation and we are investigating. Then you shut up. That is exactly it. But they're not doing that because they're trying to manipulate. They're trying to get out in front of this so that all of their Kool-Aid drinkers will now hit social media and go with the story that this woman was a domestic terrorist. We don't know what she was. She may have just been another one of these people. And by the way, I do the show here from Burbank. Just Google Bridgeview, Burbank. Okay, just look at all the ICE shit that's been going around in this neighborhood. This particular neighborhood has transitioned from an Irish German Catholic neighborhood over the last few years to a Hispanic and Middle Eastern neighborhood. The ICE teams are all over here, and I have seen these parades of people who are monitoring the ICE operations. They clog up the streets. There's 10, 15 cars of people following every fucking ICE vehicle that you see. And by the way, they're unmarked, but they're quite obviously ICE vehicles. Maybe it's the guys inside that are dressed like Rambo. I don't know. But it is something that happens. If this woman was just doing that, then this woman was murdered on the streets of Minneapolis for doing her God-given First Amendment right. You are allowed to do that. You are allowed to observe the actions of federal law enforcement. You are allowed to document them. You are allowed to be a journalist, citizen, or otherwise. And if that's what was happening, and if this is the kind of thing that triggers ICE agents to get a little bit more aggressive than maybe they would or maybe a real professionally trained law enforcement guy, if this is the shit that's triggering them and this is what happens, I mean, this is going to be riots for days. You understand that these people are trying to get these ICE agents to react poorly so that they can videotape it and then make their own hay. And it just seems like so many of these guys, especially here in Chicago with some of the video that we've seen, so many of these fucking small-minded recent hires, guys who couldn't get jobs with the local police department, but suddenly saw a help wanted ad for millions of ICE agents that needed, right? These guys, they're now fucking holding guns and badges and fucking with citizens. It's all so ugly. It all just seems so fucked up. We're waiting on the press conference. Let's go to the chat room and see what some of you folks have to say. Maddie is in the chat room. Hi, chat room, by the way. I haven't really said hello to you, what with us starting so quickly. Maddie says, similar thing happened here in New Orleans a year ago during the Sugar Bowl, and no one came out immediately and said that guy who drove his truck up Bourbon Street was a radical terrorist. I don't remember that. I'm not sure I'm aware of that. All right. April wants me to watch videos. Hold on. Let me watch them and see if I can use them in the depends on where they come from. I know, it's so crazy. All right, April, hold on. Yeah. By the way, good on you, April. BNO News is great. Okay, hold on. Hold on, I am watching the video, and then I'll decide if we can show it.
No! Shame!
Oh my God!
Shame! Oh my fucking God! What the fuck? What the fuck? You just...
Oh boy. Hold on. Have you seen the videos? I need to see it one more time. I need to think about this for a moment, okay? Again, we are awaiting a press conference from Minneapolis. April has just sent me one of the videos. It's from BNO News. I think I can use BNO News. Jesus. Hold on. Let me just, one more time. Hold on. Let me just see one more time. I don't want to, because you know me, I'll go off half-cocked. Let me just watch this video one more time, and then I think I'll show it to you.
No!
Okay.
No! Shame!
Holy shit.
Shame!
Holy shit.
Fucking God!
All right. All right, here you go. Ready? I've seen it now. Minneapolis is going to burn. Every city is going to burn. This man just murdered this woman. What I just witnessed and what you're about to witness is in no way reflective of what the government is telling us. I don't give a fuck if you're right or left. If you see this video and you think this seems all right, she wasn't trying to run him over. She was trying to escape. She was trying to flee. The guy didn't shoot her point blank from the middle of his car hood. She was turning away from him to escape, and he shot her from the side. Nobody was in danger here. She was just trying to flee. All right, we'll show it. Is the press conference starting? All right, hold on. Wait a second. We'll show it after the press conference. We need to stay on top of all of this stuff. Everything is happening so quickly here. Let's check in with the press conference. Here we go. I'm sorry. I wanted to show this live. We'll back it up. You know what? Save me the problem. Go out there and see if you can. Go and see if you can find that video somewhere before I show it, because I'm looking at the mayor of Minneapolis, and he looks fucking pissed. Here we go.
There's a lot of information that is swirling around right now, and we collectively are going to do everything possible to get to the bottom of this, to get justice, and to make sure that there is an investigation that is conducted in full. But what we do know is that a 37-year-old woman is dead, and that she was shot by ICE. We've dreaded this moment since the early stages of this ICE presence in Minneapolis. Not only is this a concern that we've had internally, we've been talking about it. They are not here to cause safety in this city.
I hear like,
the fuck? Why did they just pull the...
What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust. They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets. And in this case, quite literally killing people.
Oh my God.
So they are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense.
Oh.
Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bullshit.
Wow.
This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying.
Yep.
Getting killed.
That's what I saw.
As soon as it happened and we learned of the incident, we had several priorities. The first, of course, was to get the victim to the hospital and to get care as soon as possible.
Wow.
And to the family, I'm so deeply sorry. There's nothing that I can say right now that's going to make you or your relatives or the friends of the victim feel any better. There were, I believe, 2 Minneapolis police officers that responded and were in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. The second was to get ICE off of the scene. There were dozens, if not hundreds, of ICE and federal officers that were there at the time. Having them there was only causing more chaos. Having them there was only making a difficult situation even more problematic, and one that, yes, they created themselves. There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. Here.
The fuck?
Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you. And it's also on you to leave. It's on you to make sure that further damage, further loss of life and injury is not done. We're going to be working towards justice as quickly as we possibly can right now, and justice is what we've all got to get. Next, a message to our community. Look, we all know that the agenda of this Trump administration is to create chaos. Let us respond right now with our best versions of self. This is a moment where all of us in Minneapolis and beyond, we can rise to the occasion. We can show them who we are. We can show them the kind of courage, bravery, love, and compassion that makes Minneapolis, Minneapolis, and that makes America, America. We are better than a bunch of ICE agents being deployed to cities around the country and ripping apart families and communities. We're better than that. And so we are going to meet that hate with love. We are going to meet that despair with hope.
No.
We are going to meet that injustice with constitutional justice ourselves. And we're going to make sure that in this very difficult moment, we do not take the bait that these ICE agents are trying to create and that the federal government, to be clear, wants. They want us to respond in a way that creates a military occupation in our city. They want an excuse to come in and show the kind of force that will create more chaos and more despair. Let's not let them. Let's rise to this occasion. Let's show them something far more beautiful than the kind of division that they're trying to stoke. Let's show them unity of purpose, of love, and the courage of our conviction. Our conviction, to be clear, is rock solid, and it is for our neighbors, all of our neighbors. It's for people who have lived here for 80 years. It is for new immigrants who have made this city a better place. That's the kind of love that we're going to show up with right now. If you're angry, I get it. I am too. If you're feeling that kind of despair, it's understandable. Let's show them who we can be. Let's show up with peace. To march, to protest, to hug one another, to love all the way with peace. Do not give them what they want. Finally, we've got a lot of work that needs to happen right now.
Break free with the new Opera GX, a browser that puts you in control with a brand new design that frees up even more pixels for personalization and an inventory of features to up your game at every level. Like GX Control to help rein in your resources with integrated limiters for RAM, CPU, and network. A sidebar for direct.
He's been through a lot. We also know that we're prepared to do right for people.
Hold on. I'll move back a little. I'm sorry. I was on another page looking at some stuff. So we'll go back to what we were interrupted there. Here we go. Continuing now with the press conference. I believe it's Chief Brian O'Hara is about to
all
say.
Of our neighbors.
Hold on, here we go.
It's for people who have lived here for 80 years. It is for new immigrants who have made this city a better place. That's the kind of love that we're going to show up with right now. If you're angry, I get it. I am too. If you're feeling that kind of despair, it's understandable. Let's show them who we can be. Let's show up with peace. To march, to protest, to hug one another, to love all the way with peace.
Shit.
Do not give them what they want. Finally, we've got a lot of work that needs to happen right now to make sure that, first, of course, the scene was secured as much as possible, that we were able to get the victim, now deceased, to the hospital. We've got a lot of work to do in the coming days. I want to thank our city enterprise for the work that they have done, but more importantly, what they're about to do, because this is going to be heavy and our city has been through a lot. We also know that We're prepared to do right for people. Among them is our chief of police. I'll invite him up.
My name is Brian O'Hara, BRIANO''HARA. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. This morning, Minneapolis police officers,
Chief O'Hara,
federal law enforcement being involved in a deadly force incident, meaning shots had been fired. Minneapolis police officers responded to the scene. We arrived and found a woman with a gunshot wound to the head. Life-saving measures were performed at the scene, including CPR. The woman was transported to Hennepin County Medical Center, where she has since been pronounced deceased. The preliminary information that we have indicates that this woman was in her vehicle and was blocking the roadway on Portland Avenue, midway between 33rd Street and 34th Street in the city. At some point, a federal law enforcement officer approached her on foot, and the vehicle began to drive off. At least 2 shots were fired. The vehicle then crashed on the side of the roadway. Minneapolis police officers secured the crime scene and assisted in trying to preserve the evidence that is there. We have since turned over the scene both to the Federal Bureau of Investigation as well as the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, which will be conducting an investigation into this use of deadly force. I want to thank the mayor, city council president, other members of the city council, state legislators that were on the scene. This has been a very difficult time for everyone in the city. And this is obviously a very, very tragic situation where a woman has lost her life. That being said, in addition to this tragedy, which unfortunately we did predict, we were seriously concerned about further escalation from the scene. And I want to thank the elected officials that came themselves to help us prevent that from happening, as well as the individuals on that scene that remained peaceful and that abided by law enforcement instructions so that we could preserve that scene and ensure that a full and transparent investigation can take place. That being said, I just echo the mayor's comments that we ask that the community continue to call for peace. We understand people are going to be upset about what happened, and people are going to want to exercise their First Amendment rights. But please do so safely and lawfully to ensure that we do not have any further tragedy in this city or destruction. Thank you.
Chief, thank you, Sheriff, thank you, council members. Sure. I'll open it to questions.
All right. I have one.
I don't have that information, no. The question was, is there an identity of the ICE officer that fired? I do not have that.
Mayor, sorry, we're hearing the ICE officer stopped a position from us helping the lady who was shot. Is that true? We've seen videos all over social media that someone tried to help this lady, and they were told, they were pointing guns at and told to get away. Do you know about that at all?
So the question was, there's information out there that people tried to help the woman that was shot, and ICE officers then pointed guns at them and told them to leave. I do not have that information. I myself saw a video of the shots being fired as the car was driving away. What I can tell you is the narrative that this was just done in self-defense is a garbage narrative. That is not true. It has no truth. And it needs to be stated very clearly, since we have already seen a video of it. I do not know as to what you're talking about.
So, Mayor, she wasn't driving. She wasn't driving the car toward him, using her vehicle as a weapon.
That does not appear to be the case at all.
What's the city's protocol when an observer or an activist calls 911? We say an agent's phone, or an agent's pointing a gun at them. How does the city of Minneapolis handle that situation to report and say Minneapolis?
Repeat it one more time. I missed the first part of what you said. I'll turn it over to the chief. Yeah.
What does the city do when someone calls 911 and a federal agent's
Oh, I see. Yeah.
that sort of thing?
I'll turn it over to the chief. The question is, what does someone do when a federal agent is pointing a gun at them, Chief?
Nothing.
If I heard you correctly, the question is about when people call 911, what is the city's protocol in these situations? We've had a very dramatic increase in 911 calls related to this activity. We have a protocol in place that has been evolving as the situation has been changing. And at this time, there is a designated supervisor.
All right. There appears to be fights breaking out now on the streets of Minneapolis. All right, with so much going on. All right, first and foremost, we've just been watching a press conference. The mayor and chief of police there in Minneapolis are addressing the situation that happened earlier today. A woman has been shot and killed. 3400 block of Portland Avenue. If you're familiar with Minneapolis, it's in South Minneapolis. She was shot and killed by federal ICE agents who were reportedly in the middle of an operation, whatever it is that they do. I think that we've all seen coverage of what ICE does. And depending on what corners of the internet or Twitter sphere you hang, you've got one opinion or another. This particular situation ended with a woman being shot in the face multiple times. She's dead. The Department of, Health and Human Services. Sorry, that's another story we were going to do today that we are not going to get to. Homeland Security and ICE have both issued statements declaring this woman a domestic terrorist, saying that this officer acted bravely in protecting his fellow officers from this domestic terrorist. The mayor of Minneapolis just got up there and called bullshit on that, which I was happy to see because just moments before we aired his press conference, I got to see the video for the first time, and that is bullshit. Objectively, nonpartisanly, that is bullshit that this woman was a domestic terrorist who was attempting to injure federal agents. She wasn't. She triggered a fucking retard who was given a badge and a gun and legal authority to fuck with American citizens, and he killed her. I don't even want to show the video. You people can see it. It's all over the place. Here's what I want to know. This would have been my first question to the mayor. It would have been a follow-up to the actual first question, which was, do we know who the ICE officer is? Do we know who the guy that did this is? My follow-up question to that would be, is there any way that we can stop him from being whisked away by federal authorities and taken out of Minnesota or the jurisdiction of Minneapolis police? Because this man needs to be arrested. I don't know what his history, we don't know anything about him. But if it turns out that he's one of these $50,000 a year sign-on bonus guys who was an unemployed security guard who was given a fucking gig of a lifetime, a federal agent. I've always wanted to be in the FBI, but I was never smart enough. If he's one of these fucking guys, he's spending the rest of his life in jail because I watched the video of him murder an American citizen who was simply disagreeing with political policy. That's what she was doing. She was, as a free citizen of this country, acting as someone who was opposed to these actions, observing as we are allowed to do, as is happening in every city where ICE operations are ongoing. People are allowed to observe and follow and maybe even get in the way. Oh, it is a city. Those things are all legal. These fucking idiots who shouldn't be law enforcement are being triggered. We saw it in Chicago a couple of weeks ago. Remember the woman? Remember the story? She rammed the police. And then it turned out that she was being pushed by a car that was behind her. She wasn't even driving. They shot her. She survived, thankfully. This one is dead. There is no, and I've been saying this for a long time, and now in these instances, in these moments, actually, over the last couple of days, whether it's the invasion of Venezuela or this situation, there is no faith that I hold anymore in any of our institutions to tell me the truth. What ICE, what our federal government released about this shooting is a lie. And anybody who watches the video, and the video is out there, which is why it is so shameless and so brazen. They don't care about lying and being called out. They're just going to get called out on their lie, and they're going to go, nah. Fuck, now I'm so worked up, I gave myself hiccups. By the way, El Presidente, when I say El Presidente, I'm speaking, hold on, where is it? Fuck. God, my hiccups. El Presidente is Ed. He is El Presidente of Radio Misfit Industries Worldwide. Ed says, and he posted this while the Mayor Fry of Minneapolis was speaking. He said this right here is why the Dems have already lost. And he is absolutely right. That guy's a pussy. I know Matty thinks he's a baller and all of that. And he came up being mad. I bet he's going to sit down at his laptop and write a strongly worded letter of protest. Nah, he's a pussy. He's angry. And he's like, what? We need love and hugs. Fuck you. What we need is a Democrat like, excuse me, but we need a Democrat like Mayor Richard J. Daley of Chicago, who would have gotten up there and gone, you know what? Fuck this. We're doing it. This namby-pamby, let's meet hostility with love. That doesn't work. I don't care how many times you've seen fucking Gandhi. That doesn't work. This is war. This is a hostile takeover of the American way of life by a bunch of fucking Nazis and far right-wing totalitarian bastards. That is what's happening. And now there's a woman dead. And we've got the opposition party. I can't even call them Democrats because they're so gross. We've got an opposition party that is wanting to meet this with hugs. That is absolutely right. Strongly worded letters. Shows of solidarity. Maybe they'll all get together and hold hands on the steps of the fuck that. I'm so tired of that. I'm so tired of the opposition party, the yin to the yang of whatever is. What makes this country great is that we've got two groups of people who for years have been able to somehow come to an agreement and work together. Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan going out for drinks and shit. No, they don't go out for drinks, but they would drink in the White House together. That's how it used to be. We can have differing opinions without it being all-out war. Or at least we used to. That ship has sailed. I said it yesterday. I posted something about, Democrats being pussies. We need a third party. We need an opposition party that is going to rise up and be just as big an asshole to the assholes. They will back down. They are fucking cowards. Fucking, ugh. Barney has a great point. Mayor Fry, he says as mayor, he has to try and bring the tone down. I get that. And I might be just a little bit salty and going off a little unhinged. But when he said fucking hugs, when he said we must make things with hugs, come on, man. That is what we need to stop saying, okay? We need to be like, this is bullshit and somebody's going to answer for it. We've sent the Minnesota State Police. They are surrounding the airport where the feds are trying to whisk this guy out to some safe location. They ought to be arresting this guy. He saw the video. We all saw the video. We know what that is. It's not what ICE says it is. It's not what the Department of Homeland Security says it is. We've seen the fucking video. She was obviously turning her car trying to flee. Is that a shitbag thing? And is this woman maybe a real fucking irritating weirdo? Maybe, but you don't get a death sentence for that in America. And also, it's got to be mentioned that, she was revving the engine or something. You saw somebody tweeting about that. She was in snow. Do you guys know what it's like driving in snow? She was trying from a standstill in what looks to be a couple of inches of snow. This woman was attempting to move her car away. She had the wheel turned. She wasn't driving towards the agent. The agent stood himself in front of her car. First, they tell her to get out of here, so she turns and she starts to go. Then an agent stands in front of her car and pulls a gun on her. So which is it? Get out of here or bang, bang, you're dead? All right, I'll show the video. All right, here is the video. I'll show the video. Here is the video that the mayor is reacting to. Here is the video that I am reacting to. It comes to us from BNO News. This is as full and complete a video of this situation as we can have wanted. This is like we're all here, okay? A warning. Obviously, the obligatory warning. You're about to see a person's life end. All right, so here she is. Here she is in her car. She's being stopped now by ICE agents. Okay, there they go. You can see her. She's talking to him. She's got her window down. This guy's saying, go, move on. He's pointing, like telling her to get out of here. We'll just let it play. I'm sorry.
No! No! Shame! Shame! Oh my fucking God! What the fuck? What the fuck? You just fucking, what the fuck did you do?
Watch it again.
No! No! Shame! Shame! Oh my fucking God! What the fuck? What the fuck? You just fucking, what the fuck did you?
He murdered her before she could escape. That's what we just saw. That's what we just saw. He murdered her. She was turning the wheel. She was trying to move on down the road. He murdered her. And if you're okay with that, there's something wrong with you. One more time.
No! No! Shame! Shame! Oh my fucking God! What the fuck? What the fuck?
This guy.
You just fucking, what the fuck did you do?
Oh, wait, it's not showing? Is it not showing? Oh, I think I ended it. All right, sorry. Hold on. I apologize. I have so many fucking feeds open right now, guys. Show it one more time. Here we go.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Here it is again. Last time, I promise. Just so we all know what we're seeing.
No! No!
Turning
Shame!
away.
Shame!
Hold on. Let me just see something. When the first shot is fired, I want to see the position of the tires. Because remember, we're being told that she was attempting to run this officer over when he fired his weapon in self-defense. So let's look at the position of her tires when the first shot is fired.
No! No!
Tires are already turned. She is already obviously trying to go this way. She is not going forward.
Shame!
Turned. She is turned. The cop has now moved from in front of her car to the side. He is clear. He is not in any danger at this moment. She is turning away from him. And there she is, completely turned away when the first shot is fired. That's a guy who was pissed. That cop, that federal agent, that recent ICE hire, I'm certain, lost his cool because he couldn't believe she wasn't doing what he told her. Prison forever. He's a murderer. He's even worse. Do we have special circumstances for somebody who murders behind a badge? Is that something? It should be. But that's okay. The mayor of Minneapolis wants us all to respond to this with hugs.
Shame! Oh my fucking God! What the
man, oh man, am I becoming more and more radicalized. Jesus. All right, there you have it. Al says, praying that things are peaceful. You ever think that the movie Civil War will become realistic? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Thank you, Al. Barney says the guy at the door isn't. No, the guy who's standing in front, who's completely clear of her vehicle when he decides to squeeze off a couple. That's the shooter. No, but the guy who says, get out of the fucking car. But you understand, the first guy points and says, get out of here. At the same time, another guy is going, get out of the fucking car. At which point, she's like, I ain't getting out of the car. She cranks the wheel, and she starts to do what the first guy, get out of here, starts to do what that guy says. And that's when the third guy decides, how dare you? Pop, pop, pop. Right in the face. Lookner tweeted another angle from the front view. All right, let's see what that is. Yeah, most of the show is gonna be this today, guys, because we're never gonna get to the celebrity mom group drama focusing on Mandy Moore, Hillary Duff, and Ashley Tisdale. We're never gonna get to that story. All right, here's another angle. All right, thank you. Now this, April, this is where she comes in handy as my chat room producer. Thank you, April. I haven't seen this yet. Here's another angle. This comes to us from, well, Steve Lookner, but it comes to us from, it looks like, Channel 5, let's say, in Minneapolis. All right, what is this? Let's watch this. Yeah, that's a dead person accelerating right there. Let's see. This angle is not great, but... Okay, this looks like the shooter. This looks like the cop who's the shooter, I think. No. The cop who's the shooter is on the side of the car right here. He is... this angle. Hold on. Oh, yeah. The right is going to have a field day with this angle. The right is Mac is going to love this angle. Because this angle does look a little bit more like he was in some danger, although he is off to the side. He is in no imminent danger. All he's got to do is fall backwards, so I wouldn't buy it. But when the arguments start to, get in full force a couple of hours from now, I'm sure that this angle will be cited. All right, I got to try this one more time. Let me see if I can pause it. All right. So here's the vehicle right here. It's not this one. It's the one behind it. Here's the officer. The officer, please, that's too much respect. Here's the goon. No. Yeah, she's not driving. Look, I'm sorry, but he's off to the side of the car and she's moving forward. She is obviously not sizing him up to run him down. All he had to do was fucking step back. He's not even being hit. I think he's being hit because he's the one that is leaning on the car. She's getting away. She is fleeing. I just don't. Yep, there it is. Okay. I don't want to see any more of it. I don't. I've seen enough. I mean, I've made my opinion. I don't need. April, what is she saying? April was saying. Change playback speed to 0. Is it what? What? What do you mean? Change playback speed. Is that an option? Let's see. Let's see if that's an option here. Let's see here. All right, hold on. Oh, all right. I guess you can't change the playback speed. Hold on. Let me see. We'll go to 0.5 here. All right, there you go. Good. Look at This is why I need producers, and this is why April's the best. Thank you. All right, let's see. As we're going to watch this again, April suggests we do it at this speed. Let's see if we can see it better. He's off to the side. Yeah, he's off to the side when he shoots. This is the grill. I mean, look, if you're going to bend over backwards to try and justify this, then I'm not even going to have a conversation with you because you can't. If you're bending over backwards to justify this murder, this shooting, just let this one go. This is obviously problematic. Will you at least grant that? And I'm speaking to the crazy 15% on the right who are going to somehow try and make this justified. He's off to the side. Look at him. He's completely off to the side of the car. He's in no danger when we hear the first shot. There you go. There's the first shot. He's off to the side. He's off to the fucking side. He's not in front of the car. If he was in front of the car, he'd be dead because she accelerated. She would have run him over. Jeez, somebody's just sleeping. By the way, it's a nice neighborhood. This is not a shitty neighborhood. You see some of these houses? These homes are beautiful. All right. All right. What is the latest here? Let's see. We'll try and... we don't need that. Bill, that's my trivia teammate. That's right, Bill and April. Isn't that nice? Ed says, unless you can zoom in, the playback speed won't do much. Oh, it did stuff. It slowed it down. Made it more visible for me. Ed, who knows everything. All right, let's see what the latest is here. Should we check? Let's check back in now with local Minneapolis news. Let's see what they have, the latest, because there's some shit going on the streets. Hold on, let me pull this up. There we go. Should we watch Fox? Let's check in on CBS. Oh, no, let's just go to Fox. Here we go. All right. This is Fox in Minnesota. I've been watching them most of the morning. All right, here we go.
Coming in from other places, they don't know them, and there
just
is
check this out for a couple of minutes
of communication intentionally by including cities like Minneapolis. So it kind of felt like a recipe for disaster, is what the police chief and mayor have been saying, Paul.
And the city officials have sort of made the point that this isn't necessarily in their minds about safety. There's no collaboration. Do we need to chase people down the street? These are, perhaps people who have entered this country illegally. Are there other ways to go about an operation to take the dangerous ones off the street? Seeing them at courthouses, at immigration check-ins, at visiting them at their homes, and this is what city officials worried about. But we don't know exactly what was taking place this morning. But there was some operation where ICE, people are being, you follow them on social media. People are literally, shadowing ICE as they leave their headquarters at the Whipple building right by the airport, Bloomington, at South Minneapolis, a little corridor near the airport. People are following them. People are watching them. People are watching their every move. Wouldn't shock you to see somebody perhaps try to block a roadway if they felt someone was trying to get away from an ICE traffic stop, if that is in fact what occurred this morning. It's creating dangerous situations, is the argument from City Hall. I don't think this is the proper way to go about an immigration enforcement. And today it is the nightmare.
All right, Bill in the chat room, he's got a good point. Bill in the chat, Bill in the chat room asks the question, do you think this will be enough that Kristi Noem will be forced to resign? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Somebody is going to have to be offered up, okay? This administration will claim that this was justified, but they will offer a scalp. They're always willing to do that, and it will be Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem will be the one. It's good looking out, Bill. I see that absolutely happening in the future. One more time, let's go back. We're watching live Minneapolis news coverage, local news coverage of the shooting this morning on the streets of Minneapolis. An ICE agent murdered a woman in an SUV, shot her 3 times in the face. We watched the video. Yeah, I'm saying murdered. Anybody who's seen the video is going to call it that. I'm not some crazy fucking lefty weirdo who thinks everything about the federal government is awful. I'm not some right-wing guy who thinks that all brown people should be rounded up and put in camps. I'm just a guy in the middle who watched the video, and I'm telling you, that looks like murder to me.
Hope is that people remain calm and remain safe as well. Paul, thank you for talking us through some of that video there. Please stay with us. I'm sure we'll check in. We have so many videos to go through in our newsroom, so glad to have you with us. Hopefully you'll join us in just a couple of moments. We want to get to Corin Hoggard, though, because Corin has been out on the scene for hours now. At this point, Corin, I know you had been talking to people on the ground there. We had an interview that you played for us maybe about an hour or so ago. What does it look like right now? Because from the aerial view, it did look like a lot of the community members still on scene, of course, as well as the FBI as they investigate what has happened here.
Yeah, I had the chance to move since the last time I was on the air, and now we can kind of see a block further down south on 34th here in Portland that there is still quite an active scene. We see Hennepin County Sheriffs, Minneapolis Police are trying to keep the peace out here, and what is going on, aside from the protests out here, is that you see them right there. That is FBI here on the scene. We are also seeing the BCA out here, and what they're doing is conducting their investigation. So I've seen them going.
Just to address what April says there in the chat room, she says there's a big problem in general with law enforcement when there are multiple officers shouting contradictory commands at whoever their potential arrest target is. Yeah, it's a big problem, and that problem is probably due to the fact that none of these recent ICE hires who have been deployed on our city streets to clean them up have the proper training. And many of them are guys who couldn't become municipal cops. Now, in years past, when you wanted to be a cop, when a kid wanted to grow up and be a cop, he had to take a mental fitness exam. And a lot of those kids who tried to become cops, this is how it used to work, when they were told, you know what, you're a little sketchy with the mental, you seem a little bit nuts, we don't want you to have a badge and a gun, but hey, the fire department is hiring, so, you know... They got no, if you're willing to run into a building that's on fire, right? So that's how it used to be. But now, no. Now, if you fail your municipal, your local police mental fitness exam, hey, the federal government is hiring. That's even cooler. Walking into the bar and you throw down your recent hire federal badge, your little temporary badge. Probably cardboard. This is fucked up. Hey, you look at my car. You know, I don't have any of that bullshit back the blue nonsense. Hold on. What's going on? Hold on. Are we having a problem here? Hold on. Yeah, I see that there's an ad going. I see it. I need to, I should probably just pay for YouTube without the ads, right? I mean, at some point. Ugh. Yeah, Tom just sent me something. Tom, my buddy Tom Beller, he just sent me a freeze frame picture that's pretty much an indictment that shows the agent firing in no proximity to being run over whatsoever. Should we share some of the? Let's do this. Okay, so here, we'll go back to this for a second.
Soccer mom SUV. But now empty here, and with the airbag deployed, and the investigation going on inside of that passenger door. As you see, some Minneapolis police officer walked up to it as we speak.
That reporter just referred to the vehicle as a soccer mom SUV, which Al's like $13.99. It's only $13.99 to go commercial free. I didn't get any tips yesterday. This show doesn't make enough money to add another fucking monthly fee on top of it, whether it's $13.99 or whatever. But thank you, Al. You want to pay for it? Drop the $13.99. Actually, I can tell you that $13.99, if someone donated that right now, would not go to getting YouTube ad free. There are more important things in front of that need to be paid for. But We can get past that. Here's what I want to do. I want to go over. Let's find. Let's just go through the media there on Twitter. Let's look at some of the videos that are going around. Again, a warning. I'm seeing this stuff for the very first time. Hold on. Yeah, there's a lot of videos. Self-defense, Minneapolis. All right, should we scroll through the Minneapolis thread? Let's do that. Let's look and see what kind of videos. Again, a warning. A woman was murdered today. It is breaking news. We don't mean to be, gratuitous about all of this, but we are covering a breaking news story. And all right, what is this? What are we looking at here? Is this the ICE agent? Is this him? Folks, this is, well, there you go. That's what they say anyway. We have no way of knowing if this is actually the guy, but the internet just throws people under the bus all the time, so we're going with it. See if I can look at this guy. All right, let me see what we're doing here. All right, this is the guy. Folks, this is the ICE agent that shot and killed the innocent unarmed woman who was shot in Minneapolis. By the way, we don't know anything about her yet, or maybe we do, and we'll find out, stumble across it as we cover this. We don't know anything about this woman yet. So I guess, whether you're on the right or you're on the left, right? You've got an image of what you're hoping she is, right? All I can say is that this is going to be bad if the reporter on the scene just described her vehicle as a typical soccer mom minivan. And there were all kinds of little stickers on the back. And if those stickers are, my son's in band and all of this shit. My point is, if this is a middle-class white woman with a bunch of little kids that ICE agents just killed, whoa. Now, I don't know if this is going to draw the kind of rioting there on the streets of Minnesota that it would if it was, a minority. I don't know if a white soccer mom from the suburbs murdered by an ICE agent, if that in fact turns out to be the case, will draw that kind of, mass community outrage. But the rest of the country will. This will be bad for soccer moms in Texas and soccer moms in Florida and soccer moms in Ohio. Those are the people that this will resonate with. Man, this is fucking bad. I mean, and I don't mean to, I am not saying, please do not misinterpret what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that it is worse if it's this, or it's worse if it's a woman who's a Somali immigrant or whatever. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is how the reaction to it will be and how it will be propelled by the media. It will be far worse and a far more shit-stirring story if this is a white yoga pants wearing Lululemon Pilates soccer mom of little kids. And I don't know. I saw her briefly in the, she did look like, I think it's a white woman. I think it's a white woman is what I'm saying. I think I saw a white arm. I don't know. I don't want to look at that anymore. All right, but here you go. This is who the internets are condemning as the shooter. We do not know that to be true at all. Let's keep looking. Let's look at some more things. Let's see what else we got here. Scrolling. All right, there's there you go. Christy Nome getting a little, yeah, there he is. There, okay, another picture of him. It looks like this is the guy. There's enough pictures. I'm trying to see some video we haven't seen before. This is a strange angle, right? I don't think we've seen this. No, we've seen, is that the original angle? Hold on.
What the fuck?
I think this is the original one. No, right? No, this is a different angle. Yeah, this is a different angle. Yeah, okay, so that's...
What the fuck? Dude, what the fuck?
Indeed. All right, and here's what ICE had to say about it, just in case you're... we just saw the video, and here's what ICE says about it. Today, ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations when rioters began blocking ICE officers, and one of these violent rioters, is that how you would describe her in that moment? Is that a violent rioter? Or are they using words and propaganda through federal channels to manipulate your emotional response to this? Ask yourself that. When rioters began blocking ICE officers, and one of these violent rioters weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill them in an act of domestic terrorism. I ask you, did you see any of that? Or do you think, and let me just be as kind as I can to Homeland Security, do you think maybe they're being a little dramatic? Are they being a little dramatic? Oh my God! Oh my! Of course they are. But the nicest thing you can say is they're being a little over dramatic. The truth is, they're fucking lying. They're lying because they saw the video and freaked the fuck out and pushed this so that they can control the initial narrative. It's not going to work. This video is too bad. All right. It goes on to say, hold on, went too far. Goes on to say the alleged perpetrator was hit and is deceased. The ICE officers who were hurt are expected to make full recoveries. This is the direct consequences of constant attacks and demonization of our officers by sanctuary, making it fucking political. Stop it. I can't do that. I'm done with Homeland Security and their fucking propaganda. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Minneapolis ICE shooting. Witnesses say a doctor was at the scene and tried to help the woman who had been shot, but ICE agents refused to let the doctor in to help. Up to 15 minutes later, an ambulance arrived, but was blocked by ICE vehicles that had occupied the street. Witnesses said ICE agents then carried a limp body to the end of the street where the person was loaded into an ambulance. What is this? Is this the aftermath or is this? No, this is not the. Here's another angle. All right, let's watch this now. Here we go. So look at all of these people. Look at all of these people here just filming everything ICE is doing.
Get the fuck out of our neighborhood.
Cop pulls up. These houses are absolutely beautiful. This is not the area where I think you're rousting criminals and gangbangers. Wow. All right, she's backing up and turning the wheel. She is turning away. She is attempting to flee. The biggest indictment we can say of this woman was that she was ignoring federal officers. Although, what were they wanting her to do? One said, get out of here. The other said, get out of the car. And the third stood in front of her with a drawn weapon. What are these fucking stickers, right? If any of these are my kid went to band camp, we got problems. Although who knows? It is an indication that look, I've got a theory about people who plaster their car with bumper stickers and all those kinds of things, but I'll save that for another day. All right. Let's see here. Is this the shooting cop? Is this the shooting cop or is this the other cop? I don't know. Let's see. Nope, that was the other cop. Okay, so the shooting cop was a little bit more.
What the fuck? Dude, what the fuck?
Well, that is the typical opposition response to everything that's happening. Dude, what the fuck? I'm going to go home and play the new Madden. Let's see. Do we have any more? Yeah, I think we do. Hold on. Let's look at some more. We got more. Should we go to the latest? No, I'm not going to go to the latest. I want to go to. Boom. There we go. All right, here's the mayor. We don't need that. What is this? Mayor Jacob Fry after ICE just killed citizens. All right. We just heard this, but let's hear it again.
And I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis.
All right.
And I have a message
right. I'll tell you what, I do like that kind of plain talk. I do like that kind of plain talk. But he does seem like kind of a pussy. He does seem like this is the quintessential modern male Democrat. Look, I hate the whole alpha thing too. I think the alpha thing is gross, homoerotic, closeted, all of that shit. I think I'm a pretty regular, middle of the road dude. I'm not gay. I like chicks. I like beer. I like sports. But also, I'm not an asshole. At least I try not to be. Although, if you ask people closest to me, they're like, no, he's an asshole sometimes. He can definitely be an asshole. But this guy, I'm so tired of seeing this variety of soft boy Democrat. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't even know who to say is a good example of, they're all Ned Flanders is my point. They're all like, okay, oakley dokley. MAGA just handed the left a huge fucking New Year's gift. All right, what's this now? What are we looking at here? Okay. All right. All right, we'll slow down. And she is turning away from this guy. She is without question turning away. He's the one that is getting close and pointing the gun right at the windshield. Look at that, turning away. She's turning away. The shot hasn't been fired yet. He is clear of any danger. She is not a domestic terrorist. What she is a fleeing, I'm not going to call her a felon, but she is a fleeing, I don't even know that she's fleeing since she was told to leave. There it is. See, look, first shot comes here. He is in no danger. He is not defending himself. You see the smoke from the first shot. She is pulling away. This is a guy who lost his shit because he couldn't believe that she wasn't doing exactly what he said. And he said, fuck this. And he pulled the gun. Okay, and now he's still shooting. He is still shooting. He's totally clear. Now he's just murdering somebody. He is pointing it straight into the driver's side window and pulling the trigger.
What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck indeed. You just keep screaming that. What is this? Local Fox 9 interviews a witness. All right, let's see what this on-the-scene witness has to say. Let's go.
Well, I have a 1 month at home, so I was just getting up. He'd woken me up and was getting dressed when I heard all of the horns and the whistles. And I'd heard horns pass through before as people follow ICE vehicles.
Yeah, by the way, that needs to be explained. That's something that I have witnessed here where I am in the south side of Chicago, where ICE still has a fairly prominent presence. Everybody honks their horns. Everybody, if ICE is in the area, if you're at an intersection, and this is something that I've been like, my kid who was in the car with me, we had this happen when we were going to a sports store here on the south side. We were at an intersection and all of a sudden, we started hearing honks and he goes, what are you doing? I go, it's not me. They're not honking at me. And then, yeah, you turn the corner and you see that there are two ICE vehicles and everybody in the neighborhood is sitting there in their car, laying on their horns. There's also whistles that he mentions. I haven't heard the whistles, but I have seen the horn. The horn is to alert the neighborhood that they're here. It's awesome. If this is how we've got to revert back, if we've got to revert back to our tribal neighborhood protection mindset, then so be it. At least we're coming together in some way. Everything, the grand, the meta of it all is divide, divide, divide. We hate people that aren't us, but starting to see, due to perceived federal oppression, we're starting to see neighborhoods come together as one, and that's got to be a positive. I mean, I don't want to get maudlin, but it's a positive. Common enemy, right? That's what I say. We come together when we have a common enemy. When the neighborhood decides, and by the way, these neighborhoods aren't all just like liberal, blue-haired, Tesla destroying them. No, they're working class immigrant people. They're working class white people. They're working class black people. They all live together. It's working class. It's not the ghetto, at least not where it's happening, where I'm describing it, where I am right now. And regardless of, political, leanings, and there's a lot of fucking working class dudes, Mexican dudes, black dudes, white dudes, working class, who the message of Trump and MAGA resonated with. So it's not like these neighborhoods are all fucking Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez should run for president. No, fuck that. That's not normal working class blue state Democrats. They're not that bullshit. They're not MSNBC nonsense watchers. They're just regular people who support a Democratic machine, certainly in this state. I'm talking about the Democratic machine in Chicago, that has always been a little conservative. It has always been a little bit resistant to the Hollywood, California wing of, leftyism. But here in Chicago, at least, we're seeing these neighborhoods come together. We're seeing these neighborhoods go, you know what? No, well, I voted for Trump, but fuck this guy. This is not good. I don't like seeing this happening. And you know what's funny? It's not happening in any of the places that are solid red states. This isn't happening in Frisco. This isn't happening, in Plano, Texas. It's happening in targeted neighborhoods in states that didn't vote for Trump. That's a fact. That is where it's happening. Chicago was punished. Minneapolis and Tim Walz, they're being punished. New York, punished. Get your asses down into Little Rock, no? You're not going to go down there? Houston, no? There are no illegals in Dallas? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, Pugs, ICE has been doing operations. ICE has been doing fucking, look, see, we do it here type operations in Dallas. They haven't been doing it the way they're doing it in other places, and that's a fact. And if you really want to go after illegals, maybe Texas would be a good place to start. But no, you made your way all the way up to the south side of Chicago and the south side of Minneapolis. That's where you're focusing. Obama and Hillary land and Tim Walz land. That's where you're focused. Now somebody's dead. There's a way to do this. There was a way to do it. There was a way that I would have supported this. If there was a real clear plan laid out to target specifically criminals, people with records, troublemakers who are in this country illegally, but that's not what they did. That was too hard. Those people are good at hiding. So they went for the low-hanging fruit, and they descended upon neighborhoods, working class, all-American neighborhoods where people have each other's back, and they started kicking in doors like a bunch of fucking Nazis. And now we've got this. That's why this is happening. It's a show. It's an optic. Look at how tough. They want to be able to show the fucking hillbillies in Georgia. Look at what we're doing to the brown people you don't like. That's what this is. Trump wants more arrests, more this, more that. All right, let's go back to this. I'm sorry. Hold on. This is really a crazy day, and I'm
through the city, but they stayed. They kept going, and so I figured whatever was happening right outside. So I started watching through the window. There was a red Honda Pilot, maroon. There were two people in fatigues, ICE agents, presumably. One was by the passenger side of the vehicle, one was by the driver's side of the vehicle. And there was a handful of black and white SUVs, license plates on some of them, front license plates removed, parked sort of kittywampus in the street. And I watched as a third person in full camo come and pull several times on the door handle, at which point the red vehicle reversed a few feet and started driving around, and the person who was by the driver's side originally, not the man who pulled on the door, but who was originally there, shot through the driver's side window 3 times, and the car drove down the street a little bit more and then swerved into a car and then ultimately a telephone pole.
Okay. I think that's really all, because I'm not trying to get you to comment
on that? You just saw this. Did you see an ambulance come? Did you?
An ambulance came a few minutes later. There was some delay getting the ambulance to the vehicle because of the number of ICE vehicles in the street, and sort of they slowly moved their SUVs and trucks out of the way. Somebody wearing a camo and a vest that just said police, you know, I think they're ICE, but no identification. Grabbed an orange sort of OtterBox style case and ran up to the vehicle, and they pulled the person out and onto the boulevard before the ambulance got there.
When you saw it happen, was that vehicle still moving? Was it like at all going towards an agent at that point? Or?
I mean, so the agents had been on either side, so they just backed up a few feet and then drove forward again. Somebody else said that the vehicle had been stuck in the snow a little bit. So they weren't driving at a person with any intention of hitting them. They were driving between.
That's pretty much what all of the eyewitnesses that I've seen have said. The people who were there watching it unfold. And again, this guy, and I've been doing this on purpose, the first woman that I read is a neighbor. I'm specifically trying not to share the eyewitness accounts of people who are active in the protest. Okay? I want neighbors. I want people who are just in the neighborhood. This guy is just in the neighborhood. His account seems to line up with everyone else's. That if you were there and you were watching it, and I know we've all had the luxury of watching it on video, but again, context is important in being there and understand. We can't hear everything, and he was there. The people that are there have pretty much uniformly stated that they did not believe she was driving at the officers. I think that's important because that is the entire play, that is the entire claim of the federal government, that their lives were in danger and that they reacted this way. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? What is this now? All right, that's him on the side of the car, just squeezing off a couple. All right, what else? What is this? Got a lot of video, a lot of the same video that we're seeing. All right. So the great concern now for the authorities in Minnesota is keeping everyone calm. The fear, we heard from Mayor Fry, although he didn't articulate it specifically, read through the, what are they saying? Look between the lines, listen between the lines. He was trying to tamp down any urge among the populace to take to the streets and burn Minneapolis. And I get that. I cringed and got very upset when the mayor of Minnesota was like, let's meet this violent aggression with hugs. I'm just so sick of that. You got to stop saying that. Democrats got to stop talking like that. They got to stop talking like that. Don't ever stop feeling it. Don't ever stop actually, having that as a core value. But stop fucking saying it. Okay? You're not going to win anybody over. We need to win people over who aren't sensitive that way. Stop saying it. People are angry. They don't want hugs right now. What they want is an answer and a promise that this is going to stop, and they want some kind of justice. Hugs, the mayor of Minneapolis says. All right. So let's hope. Let's hope that we don't have days of rioting and the burning of Minneapolis, St. Paul, or whatever, or the burning of other cities for that matter. People taking to the streets. I think this is going to generate huge protests nationwide. Whether or not those turn into all out, hell nights, I don't know. But something that I would really be concerned about now This is what this agent has done. This ICE agent who was so poorly trained. What this ICE agent has done, again, forgetting about the response being riots. The response aren't riots. What this one agent has done is put a bullseye on every fucking ICE agent in America. Every ICE agent that is walking down the street now is a target for a psychopath who will now feel justified in murdering these people. That would be my fear. And it's not just ICE agents, because I'm telling you, I don't know that psychopaths who would be triggered in such a way would make a distinction among federal ICE agents and, I don't know, airport TSA or even metropolitan police. I think all law enforcement right now has a target on their back from psycho lefties. So I expect there to be large protests in all the cities where ICE has a presence. I expect that. I do not expect Minneapolis to burn. But I do have a very real concern about how this reaction, this anger, how it will manifest itself and how that will affect law enforcement in every uniform. Will they now be seen as targets? Is it fair game? Is it justified in the mind of a crazy person? Is it now justified if you're fucking crazy, and there's a lot of crazy people out there on the right and on the left, but is it now justified to kill ICE agents when you see them? I mean, of course not. Of course not. But this is now something that we're going to have to keep an eye out for. And if I was an ICE agent, and if I was a police officer of any type, I would be really upset about this, because this has endangered everybody who wears a badge. Right or wrong, there are crazy people out there, and all they need is self-perceived justification for whatever insane act they're about to perpetrate. Jesus Christ. I don't know what else to say. All right. It's almost 2:00 here. We're not going to do any other stuff. We had a whole bunch of stuff. We heisted some tankers. We got issues with Iran, Venezuela. All of that stuff is now off the front page. This is now going to be the thing that we obsess on for the near future. I mean, I don't know where else to go. Chat room, if you guys want to talk about this, I'll just start putting up chats and I'll respond to whatever it is that you want. But like, follow, subscribe, do all of that kind of stuff. And oh, by the way, if you do appreciate this kind of talk radio, it has been on the air every day at noon since Mr. Popular. Drop a little tip. Support this show. That's how we do it. Tips through Venmo and tips through Cash App. We do this show, talk radio, for normal people. 70% of us are normal, nonpartisan. I'm not going to say it's not political, because obviously we can't help but get political. But I don't give a shit how you voted. You shouldn't give a shit how I voted. We are normal people, objectively talking about the fucked up situation that we find ourselves in. Drop a little something if you support that. We've been doing it every day since 2021. Sure would be appreciated. I'm getting a lot of text. Give me a moment here where let me just see what's going on here with, I am Mr. Popular today. All right, Rob. All right, Rob. We got breaking news. It's supposed to, Rob Barr and I are working together on the music show. I told you about the music show that we're doing. Rob Barr from the chat room and I are supposed to be working on that today. And unfortunately, Ed, El Presidente, is no longer able to attend the meeting. And it's gonna hurt me. It's okay. We'll get that set up. We'll get that. No problem, Ed. Don't worry about it. Who else has been texting me? Let me see. Got a lot of texts. Got my girl, Maddie. What's Maddie texting? Pictures. She's got a picture here. A bullet hole is seen on the windshield of the car. All right, I'm getting pictures. Thank you, man. Thank you to everybody who is sending me pictures. All right. Yeah, sorry, Rob. There's Rob. Which kitty? Sorry, Ed just had to bail. He's got a client issue going on, and that's totally understandable. It's okay. We'll get together anyway. I guess I don't know. Let's watch a little bit more, I guess, of the live news out of Minneapolis. And I mean, I'm not looking to get out of here. But I don't know how much more of this story is going to develop here. I mean, we know it will tonight. Let's watch a little bit. This comes to us from Fox 9 in Minneapolis. Boots on the ground, live reporting from the scene.
A lot of people. Amy, Simone.
And thank you, Leon. And I think, it's important to just point out this is a witness.
One account.
The scene, one account.
Yeah.
And things that were, in live television like this, as we're approaching people and interviewing them.
Well, wait a second. It sounds like some witness just said something. Good thing we can. Let's go back. Let's see what this witness said. Oh, look at this guy. This guy's going to have something interesting to say.
How long you've been in my neighborhood. Believe no reason. Pretty gruesome. Halfway down the.
All right.
No.
All right. Whatever this guy said, the news anchors felt they had to add, some kind of disclaimer at the end of it. So, Jesus, how long did they?
Yeah, 34th in Portland. And Leon, you have a witness with you, right?
Yes, here I have with me Trevor Heitkamp. You witnessed the crash and the shooting this morning. Yeah, that's correct. Walk us through. Tell our viewers, what did you see? So I woke up, stepped outside of my house to smoke a cigarette. I heard commotion from about a half a block away. I walked towards the scene, and there was a maroon Honda kind of sideways in the road. And people were shouting move your car, you're obstructing the road. And the car began to back up and then pull forward at maybe 2 miles an hour. And then someone started to shout, no, no. And then a moment later, 4 or 5 shots were fired into the vehicle. And at that point, I believe the person's foot hit the gas pedal pretty hard. And then it crashed into the nearest car on the opposite side of the street. And then after that, the surviving passenger got out of the car, covered in blood, and a man on the street claimed to be a doctor and was shouting, I'm a physician, I'm a doctor, allow me to provide emergency medical, care. The ICE agents who were there said, no, get back, get on the sidewalk. And while that was happening, a different agent was shouting, no pulse, no pulse. Within 2 minutes, emergency medical ambulances were here. They couldn't get in from the north side, so they got in from the east, parked around the corner.
In the furniture business, things
oh
move
my
fast.
God, are you kidding me?
Hire qualified candidates who can keep up. We needed a project manager.
To pay for that
carry the body from the vehicle halfway down the block and around the corner to where they couldn't get in from the north side, so they got in from the east, parked around the corner, and I saw 2 ICE agents, presumably ICE agents, carry the body from the vehicle halfway down the block and around the corner to where the ambulance was, where the body was given CPR and then taken away. Now, you mentioned you live around here. That was pretty gruesome to see. Yeah, it was. This was maybe 4 or 5 houses down from where I live. And what's your reaction to all this? Because you're filming this in real time. Yeah, I started filming immediately once I got to the scene, because that's what they say you're supposed to do when this kind of thing happens. And within 30 seconds of me filming, the shots were fired, and this person died for what I believe was no reason other than a minor inconvenience and imagined fear. And what do you make of what you saw? I mean, what do you make of all of it? It's so disappointing. It makes me incredibly angry. I'm still in a state of disbelief. I can't believe that something like this would happen in my neighborhood. Has something like this happened before, depending on how long you've been here for? I've lived in the neighborhood almost 4 years. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen a person die before. And,
we're working on getting that video for all of our viewers and everything. And you know, just when you first showed me it, I couldn't believe it myself.
Yeah, the car was moving forward pretty slowly. It seemed to be complying with what the agents wanted of getting out of the road. And then, yeah, like, I think this guy got scared for a half second about a car that he was not directly in front of. I don't know why. And then he used what I think is unjustifiable force in a very lethal way.
Is there anything that people at home should know right now for our viewers that are watching as the investigation unfolds?
Like, the shooter was on the opposite side of the car from where I was on the sidewalk, but I didn't see any danger, and I think any narrative about this person ramming the ICE agent, I don't think that's true.
Thank you so much.
It wasn't true in Chicago 4 weeks ago either. It's been proven, covered extensively here on the local level. Now, Fox News didn't cover it that way because people in, Nebraska don't need to know the truth. But there was no ramming the incident that occurred here in Chicago either. This seems to be a regular occurrence with ICE claiming that, they get pissed off because they're being followed and honked at. So they lose their shit and then they fuck with these people and bad things happen. That's what appears to have happened in the Chicago case. This one, I don't know. Let's let the dust settle.
Much for your time. Definitely appreciate it. And you just heard from Trevor right there, Amy and Simone. Still a lot of things that we don't know. Trevor has sent us the video, so I will be sending it to the newsroom shortly, but just a long day for a lot of people. Amy, Simone.
And thank you.
Is this new video that we haven't seen yet? I mean, this is a relatively recent interview that he did, and they're acting like this is new video.
Leon, and I think it's important to just point out this is a witness
one
there at the scene, one account, and things that we're in live television like this, as we're approaching people and interviewing them, we're hearing lots of different accounts, and it's not to discount anyone, but also just to understand that that these aren't, and nothing there had been sort of substantiated. In fact, the comments that he made about the doctor, whomever it was, showing up at the scene, that was asked during the press conference, and Mayor Fry was not able to substantiate. It doesn't mean it didn't happen, but we just want people to know that. Maybe this would be a good time to show
that video. Yeah,
the video.
And
let people.
Yeah, and off of that doctor comment as well, there were multiple, as we get that video up for you, there were multiple people who mentioned the doctor account, saying that there was a doctor who was.
So again, is this new video incoming? They're acting like it's new video.
There was trying to provide aid. ICE agents pretty much blocked that doctor from doing so. Then I think Corn also talked to someone who said they literally had to carry the body. Again, this is just an account from, one of the witnesses there on the scene. Again, as you mentioned, Mayor Fry was asked that question. He did not have an answer for that, but he did respond and say, narrative done in self-defense is a garbage narrative. And he said this in response to the Department of Homeland Security, because they did put out a statement, and I just want to read some of that for you. I think that's important to do at this point after we just heard Leon's interview there. So the Department of Homeland Security said today, and I'm just going to read this off my phone here, today ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations when rioters began blocking ICE officers. And one of these violent rioters weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill them, an act of domestic terrorism. ICE officer, fearing for his life, the lives of his fellow law enforcement.
You can justify doing anything to a citizen if they're protesting and you characterize it as rioting. That's all you need. That's all you need. They're not protesting, they're rioting. That's why we murdered them. They were rioting, civil unrest. We were declaring martial law and taking care of the community because these rioters are out of control. They're protesters.
And the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training and he saved his own life and that of his fellow officers. And it says the alleged perpetrator was hit and is deceased. The ICE officers who were hurt are expected to make full recoveries.
And Reinhard, do we have that video ready to go? Not quite yet. Okay, Ryan's just checking on one thing, and then we're going to just let it play, and we're not going to talk over it. We're just going to let you take that in and watch it on your own. But again, that's the account from Homeland.
All right, let's go. Do you have new video or not? What the hell? Come on. I can actually fast forward a little bit. Do you have new? There it is. Okay, so here it looks like new video. Let's watch.
Is the entire incident where this, we won't show it a lot. You're not going to see it a lot. We want to show it in just very deliberate ways and just let you know that what you're about to see is the entire incident where this woman is shot by an ICE agent. So let's just take a look.
No! No! Shit!
All right, we've seen this. We've seen this, right? No, they didn't. Oh my God, the absurdity. Do you realize what the news media just did there? They just showed you. No blurs, no nothing. They just showed you a human life being taken. They just showed you a person being killed. No blurs, no nothing. But as soon as somebody said, what the fuck? Oh, they had to protect the community from that. They dropped the audio when people started swearing. They just showed someone getting murdered and then went, oh, we can't have swearing. By the way, just a fun fact. Hi, journalism student here. The news is allowed to air fuck, shit, fuck, suck my... They can air any of that in the course of a news story. There was no need for them to do. My God. The audio, suddenly someone goes, oh, shit, and they bail on the sound, but they let us see a human life get taken. Are our priorities out of fucking whack? Or is that just another example of the incremental bullshit that the media has been forcing on us for years? The reason nobody trusts the media anymore, because of incremental bullshit like that. Oh, thank you for protecting me from the F word. Thank you. That is insane. I know that this is probably not, but it triggered me. Let's watch this again. Here we go.
No! Shame!
Well, gotta get the sound out of there. She said shit, and we know that someone's gonna go, what the fuck? What the fuck? Come on. Absurd. American media is absurd. All right. No sound still. Still no sound. Too much swearing. Too much vulgarity. Hell, we wouldn't want a child to be exposed to that. We're Fox 9. Can we zoom in on the woman getting shot in the face 3 times? But make sure you dump out of anyone saying the F word. We are insane. As a people, we are insane. And am I the only one calling it out? They still haven't come back with sound. They still haven't, because all the people are swearing and they're saying, what the fuck? And we can't hear any of it because, all right, this is insane. This is absurd. Would you put the fucking sound back on? Oh my God.
Okay, so we just want to mention, and that was some of the video, we just want to mention here, we're going to show that to you again, but we want you to focus on the beginning of that video and also focus on the vehicle. It's like this purplish, reddish vehicle.
Yeah.
Why?
And look, a maroon-colored Pilot, you're going to...
Why are we taking this ride with the Fox 9 afternoon crew? Why are...
See, it's going to be kind of in the center of your screen. It's going to be in the center of your screen, and there's a law enforcement truck that comes up. There are 3 law enforcement officers. You're going to see one is going to walk.
By the way, you know these women hate each other. I'm just saying, you know they fucking hate each other behind the scenes.
Up to the vehicle, and then there is another to the side, but there is a third, and this is the person who fired the shots. And it's hard to see that person. The video goes really, really quickly, and it's from a distance, but there is another agent. The one who fired the shots is sort of on the would be the left front driver's side of this vehicle.
And you don't really see that officer until the vehicle drives away.
Yeah, all right. Frankie wants to know what happened to Minnesota Nice. Well, I'll tell you, some fucking jackbooted Nazi thugs showed up and started murdering people. What do you think? These are the Minnesota people who are being bad? It seems to me Minnesota Nice just got shot in the face 3 times, Frank. I get it. You're kidding. But let's keep going. All right, here we go.
So just make sure you pay. We just wanted to reiterate that part, because if you're joining us for the first time and it's your first time looking at this video, you might be wondering, what am I looking at? Where should I be focusing on? So again, focus on that maroon colored vehicle, the Honda Pilot, and those 3 officers out there as well. Let's play that again.
No! No! Shame! Shame!
And so you can kind of see right there, and then there's another one running up on the right-hand side. But we're really talking about the officers on the ICE agents on the
That's News 9, Fox 9 there in Minnesota. We've been watching them all day. Why is there such a haze in this room? What's something weird going on with the lighting today? I do have something that I'll share with you. This was before all of this happened today. This was going to be one of the stories that we were going to talk about in the show that I put together. Let me see if I can find this for you, because it kind of has a different vibe now that we know all of this shit that has gone on. Do I have it here? Where is it? Okay. So this was going around on Twitter yesterday. This is from Minnesota. I wanted to share this with you. And again, this is not a good look for what we witnessed today. So this was in Minnesota, Minneapolis, to be exact. A citizen there in Minneapolis confronted an out-of-town, off-duty ICE person who's in town working for ICE. They've just been deployed, blah, blah, blah. So a local who has identified this ICE person who's in town, doesn't live there, begins harassing him on the street. Just watch why he's harassing this recently deployed, currently at this moment, off-duty ICE agent. Again, I was going to show this today before this story happened. But now it takes on a whole different kind of vibe. All right, here you go. This was from yesterday in Minneapolis.
See this fucking shit. Dude, where's that fucking tattoo? Let me see this fucking shit. Yeah. Get the fuck in your truck and get.
All right, so he's got a Nazi tattoo. He's got the SS tattoo behind his ears. This is a guy in town in Minneapolis doing ICE stuff.
See this fucking shit. Dude, where's that fucking tattoo? Let me see this fucking shit. Yeah. Get the fuck in your truck and get the fuck out of this city, dog. Dude, I mean it, bro. Don't make me fucking get on the phone and start calling people, because I'll have half this fucking city come down here and take you the fuck apart.
Well, dude, I'm not even from nowhere around. We just come
fuck
through.
Off, Nazi. Get in your truck and leave. Your whole fucking crew Nazis?
No, man, we're not even from here.
Where the rest of them at?
Texas.
Texas,
yeah?
No, they're not.
Go back to fucking Texas.
Dude, I had this done years ago.
I know, and it's still on your...
Dude, I had this done years ago when I hated the minorities, but now I'm not like that no more.
Your fucking face,
because
bro.
I had this done years ago.
I know, and it's still on your fucking face,
because
bro.
I
seen that before. I seen your fucking eyes, dog. Get the fuck out of my city, or I will fucking end you. Look at this fucking Nazi piece of fucking shit walking down fucking Lindale, bro. Yeah, get the fuck on. I see you, doggy. You're not gonna fucking last long in this fucking city, cunt boy.
All right, so that was from yesterday. That was something that I had been prepared to talk about. I don't want to do that now because things have changed. But wow. I mean, if that was the attitude towards these ICE guys yesterday, what do you think the guy who made that video is feeling today? These idiots have put every law enforcement officer in danger now, because psychopaths now feel they have some kind of justification for creating violence against our law enforcement. And again, I don't know that they're going to make any kind of distinction between ICE, a cop on the corner, fucking TSA at the airport, train station police. I don't know, whatever the easy targets are for the psychos who are now feeling like they are justified in acting out. Guys, I think that's it. I think we're going to wrap the show up today. Full 2 hours. crazy day. If anything else happens, if something big occurs over the next, couple hours, I'll jump back on and we'll do some live coverage. But as of right now, I'm exhausted and I don't know what I am, man. I got a lot going on. Aside from all of this, I got a lot going on. I mean, like, there's a lot swimming in my head. Shit I not talking about, and but this was a fucked up day, folks. That's all I can say. It's a fucked up day. Anyway, I'm glad we could do this together. Sorry it had to be under these circumstances. Would have loved to have done the light-hearted show that I had prepared for you with all kinds of fun things about taking Russian oil tankers and, mom fight. Epstein list update. I had a big update on the Epstein list that we were going to get into. I was going to ask the question, is Landman a stupid show? Is it? You guys watch Landman? Wanted to talk about that. I think it might be a stupid show. Yeah. We were going to get into a whole bunch of stuff, but we can push it to tomorrow. A lot of it is evergreen. A lot of it is still going to be interesting tomorrow. Guys, that's it. Thank you for everybody who hung out with us. One more time, I'd remind you that this show runs on your gratuities and your tips. If you can help us out in any way, shape, or form, we will be appreciative until our dying breath. Drop in the Venmo, drop it in the Cash App, whatever it is. If you can help out, that'd be great. All right, I'm going to get out of here. And again, like I said, if anything big happens, I understand that we are awaiting a press conference from Governor Tim Walz. I don't know that drip could do anything that would get me to jump on and do additional streams today, but we will see. I have a meeting here in a couple of minutes with somebody. So, Rob, I think I already talked about Rob. April's like, thanks for streaming. No, oh my God, I do it every day. I love you. Barney says Landman is dad porn. It sure is. And I love it. I love the show. But it's stupid. It is really stupid. Like I saw something there. I'll read it to you. There's something that I saw on Twitter yesterday about every Landman episode is the same thing. All right, here, wait a second. Let me give it to you. I thought that was funny. All right. Every episode of Landman is this. Crazy wife. When you gonna be home? Billy Bob. Late. Crazy wife. You're no fun. Billy Bob. Every day is like this. Crazy wife. I'll make you feel better. Billy Bob. I don't want to feel better. Crazy wife. Fuck you, you piece of shit. Billy Bob. My coworker died. Crazy wife. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. Billy Bob. It's okay, honey. That's every episode. That's every episode of Landman. It is such a stupid fucking show. Why am I watching it? I like it. That's why. Maybe you're the same way. It is absolutely dad porn. But I thought that was funny. Somebody's just so perfectly, so succinctly summed up the entire show. That is every scene. That is every episode. There is a scene where she's trying to plan some extravagant dinner, and he's like, baby, I work 24 hours a day. I can't be here at 8 o'clock for your crazy pirate-themed dinner. It's every episode. They fight. They make up. Ugh, it's exhausting. I'll have a full take on this season of Landman during one of these streams that we do that doesn't, happen at the same time of a national emergency, and that's what this is. All right, guys, I love you all. We'll see you back here tomorrow. You're the best. Don't be dicks. All that good stuff. Okay, bye.